Real Talk Sports. Woo!
Hell yeah!
We are in the building, baby. This is Pod17, and we are in NFL Week 9.
Season goes by so fast.
Yeah, man. It doesn't take but a second, man. We are in here, and as again, it's another fire week of sports. We got a lot going on, but before we dig into all of that, let me introduce the players. I'm always searching for what to call this man. I'm always looking for an alias. I'm trying to give him an anthem. I'm trying to give him something to build from.
Call him a pumpkin.
The
Pumpkin.
young,
It's the season.
the young rogue of the team.
Yeah, I call like the road.
The guy we always have to watch out for, that we have to give curfews to, and have security escort him to his room and shit like that. Ladies and gentlemen, Vicente Fernandez.
Hello world, it's Vinny Fernandez. I'm basically the Des Bryant of the crew. Alright, I do whatever I want.
Ball that fist up.
I do whatever I want, but the front office lavishly gives me what I need.
See what I'm talking about? This is what I get to deal with. He came in the studio today on fire. And next up, in the gold corner, holding down the division with the longest tenured wins than anybody at this table. Ladies and gentlemen, double Cy Young Award winner, Luis Fernandez.
Ladies and gentlemen, good day to one and all. I am here, I am Delu, and I say greetings to all. Mike Tannenbaum, it's gonna be a really, really, really bad week for you. God bless you, and put on your seatbelt, sir.
Man, doesn't he sound like he's like on a 1940s radio station or something? He's one of them old school radio
He's on the talk box.
Yeah, the talk box.
And ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Scott Baker. This is Real Talk Sports. We are in here. Well, we're going to go right into it, man. NFL. I'm going to glaze over the games from last week, and we're not going to try to get caught in the mud. Last week, we spent the first 50 minutes talking about the previous week games. So, needless to say,
hey man, every week, man, a lot of stuff happens.
This week we're going to try and attempt to be just a little bit faster. You know, maybe 30 minutes instead of 50. Last week's slate of games, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 36 points, the Minnesota Vikings 17.
Unexpected from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
How?
They came out so
Josh
high.
Freeman had 262 yards passing, 3 TDs.
Doug Martin also had a great game.
Doug Martin's looking like a pro tailback, man. He's serious.
I heard a quote from somebody during the game. He said he looks like a poor man's Ray Rice.
Yeah.
He looks like a little bowling ball in there, like a small guy, but he runs like a man child.
Yeah, goodbye LeGarrette Blount. You know, hope you can play fullback. Hope you can catch out of the backfield.
It'll be good to see. And another thing, Christian Ponder, man, steadily declining as the season goes on. He came in at a very high note. He's steadily declining, man. Christian Ponder's losing.
He was riding that momentum, and now the steam is kind of getting out of the engine. He needs to go to the gas station and refill, to say the least. He needs an upgrade. Next up on the slate, Washington Redskins fall to the Pittsburgh Steelers. 27-12. Pittsburgh just handled these boys, man.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's defense is turning out to be one of the best in the league. You know, they stopped RG3. That's something a lot of teams can't say they did effectively.
Yeah.
You know, they stopped the running game. You know, Alfred Morris has kept over 100 yards for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
13 rushes, 59 yards.
Great game by Pittsburgh Steelers, man.
Steelers 4-3. They showed that they're a playoff team. You know, and the Redskins showed that they have a lot of work to do. What was it? Was this the game? 10 drops?
Yes.
10 drops by Redskins receivers.
Yeah, you can't win like that.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I think the next step for the Redskins is they need to get a big time playmaker to match along with RG3 and Alfred Morris. Alfred Morris, you know.
Yeah, the sick part was the one touchdown they got, he had to like throw 3 touchdowns in order to get one. Because they dropped 2 of them in the end zone. All right?
Is Pierre Garçon playing?
Nah, Pierre Garçon is still out.
He's still out.
No, so I mean, that's how good he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw one, they dropped it. Okay, like three plays later, throws another one, dropped it, then had to like spend the rest of like the next 2 minutes trying to get it back, and finally got it back in the end zone.
Yeah, RG3 has great resolve. He's gonna be fine. That's one of the things I love about him already. He doesn't get rattled. He doesn't get flustered. You know what I mean? he takes everything in stride. He understands the ebbs and flows of a game. And that sometimes things are going to be rough. You got to fight through it. So
Right.
he's going to be fine, man. He's going to be real fine.
He was 16 of 34 for 177 yards, had a touchdown pass. He did the best he could with the situation.
Absolutely.
Roethlisberger showed himself to be who he is, 24-33, 223 yards, and 3 touchdown passes. So he did what he always does. Jonathan Dwyer, Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech, baby.
17 rushes for 107 yards, man. They blew them off the line of scrimmage.
And they got voted the ugliest jerseys they had on the throwback jersey yesterday.
The
Bumblebee
ones, yeah. And my girl was like, babe, are those new jerseys? I'm like, no, those are throwbacks. Them is the wool boys.
I always call them throwbacks. We call them throwouts.
Them throwaways, yeah. Well, I opened up Yahoo, and the first thing I seen that said, voted the NFL's worst jerseys ever. Pittsburgh Steelers. I was like, yeah.
Worse than those Detroit Lions, man. Those Detroit Lions ones they pulled out when Barry was there. The blue jersey and the silver.
You had to bring that back, huh?
Yeah, that was ugly, man.
Appreciate you. Next up on the slate, speaking of those Detroit Lions, they go ahead and beat the Seattle Seahawks 28-24, man. They finally got started a little bit faster this week. They didn't wait to do it all in the fourth quarter like usual, you know.
All I saw was a huge upgrade from Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford, who hasn't gotten to the end zone more than twice, only one other time this year.
Yeah.
Getting to the end zone 3 times. You know, he shows out. He proved that he is the starting quarterback that the Detroit Lions thought he was.
Right.
You know, he's living up to the hype, and, you know, hopefully he plays like this the rest of the year through.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He threw for 352 yards, as you said, 3 TDs, 1 interception, so that's a little bit better. We you know, I'm still wanting more from this team, but a win is a win is a win.
Well, he ran for one too, didn't he? He had a rushing touchdown too, so he's that's a good defense too. Seattle's defense, everybody's been talking up Seattle's defense for a while.
Seattle, man.
So I have to give some props to that Detroit offensive line. They had to do something right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Seattle, they have one downfall, and that's at the fact that they're not as good as they are on the road as they are at home.
Right.
And I think that mantra is probably going to stick with them for the rest of the year, because that's what it's looking like. You know, at home they look undefeatable.
Yeah.
But
4-4.
But
that's who they are.
Yeah, there'll be a problem going into the playoffs, especially if
they'll make the playoffs. I mean, it's going to be tough for that NFC.
It's going to be very, very tough for that division, but they got the opportunity. It's definitely, the chance is there. It depends on what they do in these next 4 or 5 weeks too. And
they already got one cheap win against the Packers.
You think that's going to come back to bite them?
I think that karma's a bitch.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I meant. Like,
yeah.
You know, you got that win, but you're going to pay for it later.
Right.
So yeah. Next up.
Oh, props to Titus Young, man. 9 receptions, 100 yards, man. He really stepped it up after Burleson
went
got
down
hurt.
with that injury. And Ryan Broyles had a couple catches too. So it's good to see those younger players stepping in and making some things happen, man.
It's about damn time.
Absolutely. Let's kick it, Detroit. We need that money. Because Lord knows we didn't make it in that fucking World Series. Next up on the slate, the Chicago Bears win a barn burner right at the end, 23-22 against the Carolina Panthers.
I feel terrible for Cam Newton. You're talking about a man who played as good of a game as you can play.
Yeah.
All right, he played threw the ball wonderfully, had a nice throw to Steve Smith, about 40 yards downfield, beautiful throws. He rushes for the touchdown. You know, no doubt he fumbles the ball at the end zone, but they get it back. You know, he played hard. He came out there to play. Defense, once again, man, lets him down, man. I mean, Chicago Bears team that came out flat.
Came out real flat.
They didn't deserve to win this game.
Yeah, Steve Smith had over 100 yards receiving. He looked like his old self. But I got to give a shout out to Luke Kuechly, man. Yeah. Luke Kuechly has been balling. He can get to that ball. He's a linebacker. He's legitimate. I've seen him make a few big plays where he shed some blocks, and it was like, ooh. Reminiscent of Teddy Bruschi out there.
Right.
He was looking real good.
Yeah.
It's just that secondary, man. When it came crunch time, and it looked like the Bears had to get that final field goal. Nobody
Josh Norman out there playing corner.
Nobody can stop Brandon Marshall. Nobody.
There's nobody out there that can check him.
Not in that secondary. You got to put Steve Smith out there on him to let him turn around.
Put Cam Newton out there.
Yeah, something. But shout out to Carolina. It was a very competitive game. like you said, Cam, just stay on the horse, man. Just try to take the positive out of it. You can't do it all by yourself. I think that's the bottom line for Cam.
Right.
Last season he was Superman, literally. This season he came back to earth. So.
Well, I mean, even last year they weren't that good of a team. You know, I'm looking at this back end of the schedule for them. You know, it looks favorable. Let's see if they can get some wins. You know, I don't think they'll make it to 500.
Nah.
Oh no. Not at this point. Not at 1-6.
I don't think they're shooting for that. I think they just want to let's get a couple, coach.
Let's get a couple wins.
You know, and then I think Ron Rivera's done. I think he might get fired.
You think so?
Yeah, they got rid of the GM, and the GM was the one that hired Riviera. So doesn't pay dividends.
Let's see. Well,
New ownership might be getting them out of there. Next up, the Atlanta Falcons go out to Philly and grab one in their hands and beat the Philadelphia Eagles 30-17. It was a interesting game. You know, I think first off, shout out to Mike Vick. He takes all the heat for all their losses, and it really isn't his fault. That offensive line is piss poor.
Well, not only the offensive line, man. When you talk about a defense that's supposed to be one of the better in the league, you got Nnamdi Asomugha, all right, a cornerback who they paid over, all right, top flight for, Darrelle Revis type money to, and he's showing how inept he really is. You know, they brought him in, you know, expecting him to be the second best cornerback in the NFL. To be that dude, yeah. And he's turned out he's not even a top 15, top 20 cornerback in this league.
But again, they've had a problem with that defense. They fired Castillo. This was Todd Bowles' first game running the defense. The defense didn't look good. There was nothing to hold on to. There was no continuity. They had players on the bench that should have been starting. Their draft pick was named Michael Kendricks. They had him on the bench the first half for disciplinary reasons. Like, is this NCAA now?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a point in the season where there should be certain players on the floor. I mean, on the field, 3 plays.
Yeah.
In those 3 downs, you know, you need to be there all 3 downs. It doesn't matter. Yeah. You know, and they're guys who they are keeping on the field for those 3 downs. They're not getting the job done.
That defensive line.
All right, where's Cullen Jenkins? Okay, where is some of the other players? Trent Cole. All right, where the other defensive end they got last year?
Babin.
Yes, Babin. Yeah. Where's Babin? Asomugha, of course. Rogers Cromartie. Yeah. All these big name, big high priced guys that you're buying, and they're not living up to. You're not paying out, man.
No, man.
Man, this to me the story was the Falcons' offense. Man, 392 yards total offense. Ryan was 22 of 29 with 262 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Let's go, Julio.
They looked very, very impressive, that offense.
That secondary coach, the defensive coordinator, all right, that was his secondary. He did a piss poor job of finding a way to stop these receivers. Piss poor.
Yeah, it was ugly, man, because you just kept seeing the secondary on the heels. Even when Julio scored, it was like Asomugha behind him, like it's like, come on, baby, and it happened more than once.
Yes.
So clearly there's an issue. It wasn't like it was just one big play. That secondary got consistently beat the whole game.
And I think Michael Vick, man, he takes all the blame, man.
He does. I don't like that.
This wasn't Michael Vick's fault. All right, you have a team that refuses to run the ball with LaShawn McCoy, who is your best player on your team. You got 2 receivers who are underperforming in Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin this year. You have an offense in shambles because the offensive line can't block can't stop a trickle of water coming downstream. You know
they spent all that money on everybody else. They spent all that money on
bill collectors, man.
Why are you playing? So do you think it's over for Andy Reid?
Andy Reid, I thought it was over a few years ago when he played Donovan McNabb the way he did. I didn't like that. I didn't appreciate it. I thought he made McNabb a scapegoat.
Yeah.
And I was like, I lost a lot of respect for him, how he handled that. And now, like I say, instant karma. You know what I'm saying? Karma gonna get you, man.
Because they already said if he doesn't win 8-8, somebody's getting fired.
Oh yeah,
man.
Rightly so.
As a coach, Andy Reid has been put on a pedestal in a way. He's always been seen as one of the highest, most high quality coaches in the NFL.
Yeah.
But if you look at his resume, no doubt he has a lot of playoff wins. No doubt he has a lot of NFC championships. He reminds me a lot of the Jets.
Yeah.
In the way that you have AFC championships, but you're not producing anymore.
Right.
You know, that tenure's over. All right, get that out of your head. Get the past out of your system. and let's move on and make a better football team.
Well, Dallas. Well, you can't remember because you weren't alive. But after Roger Staubach left the Cowboys, this quarterback Danny White took over, and the team was always good enough to make it to the NFC Championship game. I believe they made it 3 times. Never once got into the Super Bowl, and then that's when they had to like break up the team because it was just like Dallas was, known for championships. You know what I'm saying? And they kept going and it's the same thing with this team. His time was going to be short because he only got to the Super Bowl once, and once he got there, they blew it. So
yeah, man. It'll be interesting to see what they do because now they're calling for the rookie Nick Foles to play. I don't think that's the right
Why bring
decision.
Nick Foles in a situation where you have to play the New York Giants?
Ooh, that'll be fun. The Giants will love to see that.
I don't think that's the right. I understand they say he looked good in the preseason.
Yeah, bring him on, man.
So did
Justin Tuck can't wait to see his ass.
Oh my God.
So did Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn looked good in the preseason. You don't see us hyping up on the Brady Quinn band.
Brady Quinn got some time. What you mean, man? He been throwing that.
He lost to the Raiders. And then he got sat out.
Brady Quinn, he like lasted a play. They knocked him silly after one play.
We digress.
I tried, Brady. Nobody. They shot you down as soon as I said your name. Next up,
Here's
we're
a
gonna keep it
story
moving.
of a man named Brady.
We go across the pond to London, where the New England Patriots destroy the St. Louis Rams. I mean, this is how you expect the Patriots to play. They've been kind of looking average the past couple weeks, but they win 45-7.
Wow.
And St. Louis was the home team.
Wow.
Technically.
Even when the Patriots play bad, they score a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing they always do. Basically, that showing the other day from the Pals, the Gronk show. I like to call it the Gronk show.
Yeah, I like that dance.
Gronkowski, basically shifting up. This Patriots team is very good. The Rams, I know they're very disappointed. I expected a better outing on defense.
Yeah, I thought their defense was going to play a little better. They got some good pieces. Don't they got Janoris Jenkins, too?
Janoris Jenkins got dicked on play against Brandon Lloyd. I mean, Brandon Lloyd made him look silly, but...
Old veteran.
Hey, man, better team won.
Yeah, man. Patriots just, same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was. All right, well, we're going to keep that thing moving forward. Oh, and by the way, Tom Brady threw for 304 yards and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
2 touchdowns for Gronk.
In his sleep.
Next up, so disrespectful. Next up on the slate, the Indianapolis Colts steal a win against the Tennessee Titans in overtime. Andrew Luck throws for 297 yards, 1 TD, 1 pick. Matt Hasselbeck, the old veteran, loses to the rookie, and he throws for 236 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, an impressive last-second touchdown. Final touchdown score by Vic Ballard of the Colts. He showed a lot of heart. Jumped up in the air. Spread out.
Yeah, they went crazy about it on the NFL Network. Like it was the greatest.
It wasn't a
play
great
of all time.
It was a very good play. And it was a timely play because they were in a position where you're there, you can win the game.
I was about to say the Colts are quietly sitting at 4-3.
Mm-hmm.
So right now.
But behind the Texans in that division,
mm-hmm.
they're looking pretty good. I still don't like their defense. I still don't think they'll make it to the playoffs, but
right.
they could make some noise.
They've already exceeded expectations.
All these people hyping up RG3 and what he's done, I think not enough people are showing love.
Showing love to Luck.
Because Luck has tremendously made this team better. This team was 2-14.
2-14 last
terrible, and now you already have.
The only way you were going to hear anything about Andrew Luck was if he was effing up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's expected, being the first pick, he's expected to be elite. He's expected to be above and beyond.
But he's a lot better. People are hyping up RG3 as MVP this, MVP that. No doubt RG3 has done a great job.
Well, yeah, he has, but
RG3 is more exciting.
Right.
Andrew Luck is just doing it. He's just getting
He's efficient.
He's going to clock it in.
He reminds me a lot of, not in play style, but in attitude of Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay.
Ben Roethlisberger comes in, whatever happens. He's a real grizzly, tough guy,
right.
And he'll always try to get, whatever. It might be ugly, but he gets it done.
He gets it done, right. Yeah, that's what's up, man. So shout out to the Colts. They get that win. And that's pretty big for them because I thought Tennessee was going to run roughshod. But I was wrong. I think I picked Tennessee last week, too. Next up on the slate. As disappointing as ever, San Diego Chargers lose to the Cleveland Browns.
It's all coming.
6-7.
San Diego Chargers once again proving the public right.
It seemed like this team was almost worse than what I thought.
They started off so well, now they're falling so hard. To lose to a Browns team that only scored once. Defense didn't play especially great. Phillip Rivers threw the ball pretty well, but Meacham with a terrible drop for the touchdown that,
Robert Meacham, what a drop that was.
Oh man, it basically blew at the end of the game. That was the
yeah, big time drop. But we've seen this show before with Norv Turner. I saw him at Washington. I remember pretty much the same, the same story. It starts off fast. People like the offense and this and that, and then, pretty soon he starts losing his team. I thought he should have been fired after the Jets beat them a few years ago in the playoffs. But he stuck around, and they keep talking the same crap every year, and I'm like,
keep talking that Yang shit.
They talking that Yang shit.
Well, I mean, in the division of the AFC West, they basically started off being the front runner,
right?
No doubt. Now the Broncos have come in and said basically move.
Peyton. So what do you do with this Chargers team? What's going to happen with this team in the offseason?
It's time for a culture change.
Do you change Tony Romo for Phillip Rivers?
Oh.
What if Phillip Rivers is on that Cowboys team?
Phillip Rivers needs to stay because he's the heart and soul of that team. He's still a very good quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
But what they've done is basically gotten rid of a lot of playmakers that they've had. Look at players who come out of that San Diego team: Michael Turner, Darren Sproles, Vincent Jackson. All these guys, these are huge playmakers that if they would have kept, just spent that little bit of money to keep Mike Tolbert, if they would have kept these guys, they would have a better team than they would have right now.
Absolutely.
When you're talking about Jackie Battle as
you didn't say Sean Merriman. No?
Anyway,
okay.
You have Jackie Battle as your second running back. All right, when you have Ryan Matthews, the walking crutch.
Yeah, I don't
you
know
got
what's
Robert
going on
Meacham,
Ryan
who is at best a third receiver. All right, starting for your team. Malcolm Floyd isn't living up to it. I don't know what this San Diego GM, what he's thinking. All right, how he's putting 2 and 2 together, but that's not how you put a winning formula.
Nah, not at all. Yeah, San Diego. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
somebody, y'all gotta show up. They haven't shown any pride. I think that's what irritates me about this team. Mm-hmm. They're okay with being labeled as soft.
Right.
It's like, yeah, all right, maybe next week. Right. Like you don't see any fight out of this team.
Well, where's the leadership? The leadership is Phillip Rivers. And if you look at Phillip Rivers in his career, he's that guy who's blaming somebody else, you know, because he fucked up. He's throwing balls out of bounds, on 4th downs, thinking that, that was the right play to make. You know what I'm saying?
No, brother. Can't save your stats when you're losing. It don't really matter.
And that was a terrible game too.
Yeah,
I give kudos to anybody who sat through that game.
Only them straight real dog fans, them real Brown
fans.
Yeah,
the guys have been fans since they had Jim Brown.
Yeah, since the underwear was brown.
The same folks who burnt the Brown jersey.
Right. Next up, oh man, this game extremely disappointed me. The Miami Dolphins 30. The New York Jets 9. Fellas?
I have nothing to say.
Oh, man. Earlier on the show, I asked Vinny, was he switching to, be a Giants fan? Because, he's a diehard Jets fan. I said, you going to be a Giants fan? He said, I'm a Knicks fan. He jumped sports. New York Jets, you should be ashamed. You have some of your biggest fans jumping sports. He went to the Knicks. He completely bypassed the other 2 teams in New York. You guys have left such a bad taste in his mouth that he just wants to watch himself of New York football.
I've never been in a situation where I have to actually question the toughness and question the heart of the Jets football team.
Yeah.
This team has always been a tough defensive team. They came out like a bunch of knuckleheads. They basically look like Dez Bryant's all over the place. Like Dez Bryant and had a bunch of kids, and it turns out to be the New York Jets.
Mike Sanchez had 283 yards.
I don't care.
1 TD in the pit.
But when you throw 50+ passes, all right, you need to have over 280 yards. All right, you're talking about a team that looks on paper and in real life like one of the worst teams in the NFL. You have an offense where your best player is Sean Green, who probably wouldn't even start on half of the NFL teams in the country.
Back to punching Sean Green in the mouth.
Tim Tebow, all right, your personal punt protector can't block anybody that's got a blocked punt. All right,
that blocked punt was on Tebow?
Yes, it was on Tebow because he went right through where he was. Okay? You have all these things. Special teams played terrible. They gave up 17 points, man. Mike Westhoff, all right, hallelujah, retire already, please, sir, because your special team performance has been terrible. Rex Ryan, he already knows the deal. Mike Tannenbaum, he already knows the deal. Mark Sanchez, he already knows the deal. All these people crying for Tebow, shut the fuck up. All right, this Jets team is fucking ass. We just need to give up the rest of the damn season, get a first top 5 pick, all right, get the best player on the board, and let's start over because this is not the way to go.
Santa Claus, they want Geno Smith.
I want Jarvis Jones.
You wouldn't know what to do with Jarvis.
Oh, boy, you telling me? Shit.
You just hated on Georgia like a week ago. You can't have Jarvis.
I'll take Landry Jones.
Oh,
I don't care.
Man.
Damn.
He said, I'll take Landry Jones.
We need a quarterback. Man.
I'll take Marcus Lattimore, dislocated knee and
we need a quarterback in the worst way.
No. We need everything.
No,
everything.
But we need
every position.
We need everything.
I'm a position. But we need it.
We need 2
of them.
We need 3 of them.
We need a backup too.
Right. We need somebody in the practice squad.
We need 2 more.
I got Cumberland and you got Keller.
Yeah. Neither one can block. Listen, Keller, he does his thing, but he's not Gronkowski.
What
He's
about,
not Jimmy
what
Graham.
about running back? You got
Bilal
Powell.
Bilal Powell.
All our running backs suck. Name another position. Name any position.
Defensive end.
Trash. Quentin Cole.
I
have not seen him at all.
We had a Muhammad Wilkerson sighting last week.
Oh, that's awesome in a losing effort. All right,
but
I don't care how good you are in a losing effort.
There's 2 other guys on the line in a 3-4, and he's the only one making plays.
Yeah.
You have a lot of players who are kind of straight dogging it, and the fans could tell by the third quarter.
The locker room's got the team fucked.
I'm telling you, by the third quarter, everybody was on Route 17. Nobody was in the stadium.
It's the coaching, man, because when you talk about these guys who are making these decisions, they bring in Tebow. That's the first thing that went wrong. Why bring in this guy? We're halfway through the season. Tebow has 23 rushes for 78 yards.
Oh, and so we have to also mention the fella you didn't mention, which was offensive coordinator Tony Sperano, who has done the worst job. I mean, you couldn't try to do a worse job
and against his former
of
team,
using Tim Tebow.
I thought he would have pulled out the horses a little bit.
I actually think that Tony Sperano was working against the Jets. I think he called those plays on purpose.
You think he took the job just to spite them?
I think that's what it is. I have nothing to say about the Jets. They suck. I can't rep this team. It's very hard for me. I mean, I feel like a Lions fan back when they was 0-16.
You don't feel that?
I blame Eva Longoria. She broke it up with Mark Sanchez last week.
Gave him that cougar pussy.
This wasn't a game. This wasn't a game that Mark Sanchez should have won. This is a game our defense.
Our defense, yeah.
All right, the defense.
I expected a lot more.
Talking a whole bunch of shit. All right, so Reggie Bush and those guys. Reggie Bush came and punched him in the mouth and he said, "Fuck you, suck my dick." He pulled a Kim Kardashian on them boys.
He pulled a Kardashian. They made a sex tape and didn't give him no money.
Damn, got butt fucked and everything.
Damn, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, Jets. Damn, I'm sorry. Fuck. We apologize. Shout out to
Good night, Jets. The season's over.
Good night, Jets.
We appreciate your showing up.
I would never say the season's over.
Season's done.
All I'll say is
this season is done.
You're going to the Knicks, man.
Shout out to you've already left.
Shout out to the basketball.
You left the sport, man.
Let's start basketball.
He's ready. He's listening to squeaking sneakers and basketballs pounding the hardwood.
Oh man.
Yeah, man, he's gone. He's not on the football field no more. No, good night, Jets. And deservedly so. Mike Tannenbaum's lack of personnel prowess, evaluating prowess, has come back to absolutely destroy us. You guys are talking about tight ends. We've left a Pro Bowl's worth of tight ends on the board since 2006. We've left Vernon Davis. We've left Gronkowski. We've left Jimmy Graham. We've left tight ends all over the place.
We've left Ray Rice on the board.
Okay, Frank Davis.
We gotta get out of here.
We got it. Okay,
it's gotten toxic.
You've left a whole Pro Bowl worth of players.
You allowed Ray Lucas, the backup quarterback of the New York Jets, allow him to talk shit about your team. Ray Lucas sucked. He sucked. Shout out to Ray Lucas, SNY. He's still an asshole, but it's all good.
Oh, man. We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here.
but
I've opened Pandora's box.
It's just, oh, man. I threw up 3 times this year.
Mike Tannenbaum needs to be kidnapped. And he needs to disappear. I need my mafia friends.
He's gonna cause a national catastrophe.
Okay, all right. Let me get control of this show.
I don't want anyone to die off of
Next up on the slate.
I didn't say die, man.
Next up on the slate.
Send them to the freaking library.
They brought the New York out of these niggas. They talking about gagging and tying up Mike Tannenbaum.
Hey, my name is Vinny, man.
Shit, I'm out of here. Next up.
And I'm Louie.
The Goodfellas. The Green Bay Packers defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Jaguars actually played a solid game. 24-15.
Like I said before, the Green Bay Packers have hit a stride, and I don't think anything can stop them. Jacksonville Jaguars played a very good game.
Blaine Gabbert threw for over 300 yards.
Blaine Gabbert, man, he's not as bad as people would think he was. I mean, you were calling for Chad Henne. Skirt!
God.
He played and looked horrible.
I don't think that was the right move.
No, it wasn't. Henne hasn't picked up their offense.
Nah, I don't think Henne can pick up any offense.
Yeah,
I'm with that. But
well, they do have malarkey, so let's temper those a little bit.
Malarkey. Yeah, but shout out to Aaron Rodgers, man. Great game. He did his thing. And this Green Bay Packers team looks poised to make a nice little playoff run.
Randall Cobb, man, what's good? No.
I mean, he does his thing. I mean, but there's a bevy of receivers on this Green Bay. Like anybody.
But I think he looks special. He looks like he's gonna have a chance to do some things.
Well, him, James Jones, Jordy Nelson. You can't tell me that none of these other guys.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. But Randall Cobb being the rookie, being the young boy.
Yes.
And Greg Jennings is gonna come back later on in the season.
And they still have him.
He comes back.
Yeah.
What do you do? These guys have 4 receivers who can be top flight. Like, if you put any Jet receiver in there, they wouldn't even play.
Curly wouldn't make it?
Nope, he wouldn't play.
Curly wouldn't make that team.
He wouldn't play.
Stephen Hill.
As good as he is.
San Antonio Holmes.
Nope. Donald Driver is better than all of them. And that's their 4th or 5th receiver.
Yeah, 5th really.
Yeah.
Don Maynard might break the starting lineup.
Here we go. Real the man. And with that, we go on to the next game. This is always an ugly game. The Oakland Raiders beat the Kansas City Chiefs, not in surprising fashion, 26-16. Kansas City's the worst team in the league.
Man, how do you make Carson Palmer look good?
Here we go. Carson Palmer plays strong, man.
I mean, to be able to do that.
Joe Johnson called Carson Palmer, and they had a little chat about the two of you. I'm serious, man.
I dare Joe Johnson even say
something. I dare Carson Palmer to say something to me, man.
I choke slam his ass. He ain't playing. I'm going to put him on IR before the season gets started.
I'm going to push his shoulder.
You'll never make my fantasy roster.
Listen, man. Carson Palmer played a great game. Darren McFadden also.
I picked up Michael Kidd-Gilchrist over you.
Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
How do we get into the NBA?
I'm sorry.
Gotta take a turn like
I'm sorry.
Fantasy madness.
Lou pushed my buttons. He got me going.
Man, but shout out to the Raiders, man. Great game against a very piss poor Kansas City team.
Everybody needs a pay cut in Kansas City.
Darren McFadden over 100 yards rushing. It looks like whenever this team gets over 100 yards rushing with D-Mac, they're good for a win. I don't know what's going to happen to them for the rest of the year because they're so up and down, this Raiders team. I can't tell if they're a playoff team or if they're a team that just doesn't belong. They've shown us both worlds.
Yep.
But it'll be really interesting to see.
This is going to be important for that Oakland Raiders team to get some continuity. They have a carousel of coaches and staff. They got to keep the same staff in there for a few years.
Well, I think this is the first step in the right direction. You saw Denarius Moore catch a touchdown. You saw Darius Hayward-Bay catch a touchdown. These guys have been showing that maybe Al Davis was kind of right.
Hey, that AFC West is wide open. Anybody can win it.
Yeah, there's good times out there, man. There's a lot of hard hitting. Next up, man, this game right here was probably one of the most entertaining, shocking, ugly, upsetting of the week. The New York Giants go out and still won in Dallas, 29-24. This game was 23-0 at halftime. Giants, they were up.
I mean, you talk about a Giants team that in the last 2 games, their defense has not supported the offense as well as they should have. You have these, to be honest, incredible performances by the Giants offense to be able to come out with these games, to be able to win. They've basically stolen the last 2 W's. And if they keep playing like this, though, you could see a New York Giants team falling fast. Yeah. I mean, Eli Manning, as much as people talk about how good he is, he's thrown a lot of picks in the first half of games. Tony Romo, though, I don't think anybody can be worse.
But he threw for over 400 yards. I mean, second half he took over.
Four interceptions.
They gave up 2 interceptions in the first quarter, and the Giants only got 2 field goals. I thought that was huge.
Well,
Yeah.
I got to give props to that Dallas Cowboys defense. They came out slow, but this is one of the top defenses in the league, man.
Marcus Ware.
And they kept them in this game.
Man-child.
And you're talking about they were a pass away from winning the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, that last pass is so ugly.
You know, Dez Bryant, fingertip out of bounds. You know, to take
Beautiful
away the touchdown. It's real tough. But I think the Cowboys actually have a really bright outlook in their future. I mean, everybody's talking like, "Oh, these guys are done. It's over."
No,
I think it looks good for them.
The end of that game, they look good.
Now, was that their second game?
Second game. The Cowboys beat them the first time.
So they tied as far as the season series is concerned. I thought that it was a typical Romo game. You know, between the 20s, he did the job. You know, he moved the ball up and down the field. Jason Witten had 18 catches,
he was balling.
167 yards.
He looked good.
Miles Austin had 9 catches, 133 yards. So that, you know, he was moving it, but neither one of them had a touchdown.
It's really tough for this team to really get going without the running game that they're used to. DeMarco Murray was expected to have a big year this year.
Oh, you mean Felix Jones has 13 carries for 19 yards?
Felix looks horrible.
Felix Jones is not the answer. I mean, he was hurt though earlier this week.
He's always hurt.
He was hurt, but
he's been hurt since junior season.
He's
in Arkansas.
either hurt, about to be hurt, or just got through being hurt.
DeMarco Murray was a big part of the offense. He looks like an incredible running back prospect, and he's out. I mean, I don't know when he's going to come back, but it'll be. You know, if they can get him back, I think the Dallas Cowboys teams will be all right. You know?
Well, as long as they don't get him back before next week, I'm good.
Typical Atlanta.
Hey, man, we'll get to that. Don't even worry about it. I have a right to be
Right.
But Giants are 6-2, and they're just like rolling over everybody in the NFC East.
Yeah, they are. Giants look good, and I expected them to win this game, but the way that Dallas came back in the second half, it made me start rooting for Dallas. When I seen Dez Bryant catch that last pass and they caught it incomplete, my heart hit the floor.
Well, you're actually seeing a lot of holes in this Giants team that's supposed to be impenetrable.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the best team in the NFL. People are still talking, but they're showing a lot
Their
of
secondary looks immature.
We talk about Amukamura, right, getting dumped in pools and then bitching about it on Twitter. Okay, like get out of here.
J-Ron Hosley, I seen got did in a couple times, and he was whenever a defender is calling for an offensive player to get pass interference, you got did usually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kyle Wilson.
We're gonna move forward. The Denver Broncos beat up on the New Orleans Saints 34-14. This Denver defense looked good.
Denver defense looked good. I actually like their offense way better.
Well, I don't even count their offense because Peyton is rounding in the old Peyton form.
Well, it's not only Peyton. These receivers, Eric Decker and Demarius Thomas. These
Willis
guys,
McGahee.
man. Willis McGahee.
He jumped in the time machine.
Well, last year, you know, he saw it a little bit, but this year we're seeing it fully.
Yeah.
You know, we're seeing him fully coming out. But Demarius Thomas, man, over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. Eric Decker got a touchdown. I mean, Peyton Manning has gotten a repertoire.
Did Decker get 2? I thought he had 2 of them.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think he had 2, and Demarius Thomas had 1.
Well, there you go. Eric Decker 2 touchdowns. Demarius Thomas 1 touchdown. Peyton Manning has a really solid. What's the word I'm looking for? Connection.
Yeah.
You know, his connection with these receivers are unparalleled for how many games they've played. They've only been together.
They got a good rapport. They got a good relationship.
It shows you it doesn't take a whole year.
Yeah,
it doesn't take even a half a year.
But I'm looking at this Denver Broncos team, and I'm seeing how they get together with their receivers and how they bring talent. If they just get a little talent with this big time. And Peyton Manning, man, MVP talks are well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
he still looks like the same old guy.
Oh, absolutely. So, are they the best team in the AFC?
Definitely not with the Houston Texans and not with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah,
like
the Texans I think are the AFC
Still the
team
cream of
now.
the crop, but they're definitely top 5.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah, I think they're the favorites to win the West.
But the AFC is looking like the weaker conference at this point.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, the last game has not been played. We have our Monday night game tonight. The San Francisco 49ers, 5-2, head out to Arizona to play the Cardinals at 4-3. Predictions?
Cardinals, good luck.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a drubbing.
Yeah, it's going to be a really. I'll be watching the 11 o'clock news.
You watching the Ricky Smiley show?
The Ricky Smiley show after. Yeah.
I was looking for basketball.
Isn't it going to be a marathon tonight? I think it's going to be a Ricky Smiley marathon too. So.
And y'all shout out to Ricky Smiley. He got his own TV show now on TV1. He's trying to resuscitate that network, to say the least. So show him some love. You know?
That network was up and running before. Like I've never really seen it.
Yeah, TV1 they have a lot of support, and it's already supposed to have been. It's supposed to have been the answer to us selling BET.
They'll probably get more people watching if they change their name to UPN.
I forgot about UPN. Yeah, good times. Well, that's the slate from last week.
Wow,
you know.
How long did that take us? We did a good job.
We did a good job. We are at 39 minutes.
Oh, I give us credit. That's
we trimmed up a little bit. We trimmed up. We'll take that. And now we're going to move forward and continue with our NFL. We gets it in our Week 9 games. First up, this is a game I don't want to see, and I'm glad we're talking about it first because it's probably the worst game of the week. You have the 1-6 Kansas City Chiefs heading out to San Diego, where pretty much wherever anybody's played this year, it's been a home game in San Diego, whatever team they've been playing. And the Chargers are sitting at 3-4. I don't want to see this game.
You're talking about two teams who've been looking very bad these last couple of weeks. I actually think this is a chance for the Kansas City Chiefs to get
one. That's sad. That's sad.
I mean, as bad as
because I agree with you. That's why it's sad.
As bad as the Chargers look, man. I mean, I just don't see anything coming out of them.
Nothing.
Like Ryan Matthews is still coming off his injuries. I mean, if he was playing, maybe that might have helped their chances. But I think that the Kansas City Chiefs, with the weapons they have, they should be able to beat this San Diego team.
I say, at this point, save face, sit Phillip Rivers, start Charlie Whitehurst.
Charlie Whitehurst?
And just see what you got at this point.
Man.
I don't think it's at that point for the Chargers. I mean, they still have a chance. They just need to. Things need to start coming together.
They don't have a chance.
Things need to start coming together, or we could see a coaching change.
They're 3-4. There should be a coaching change. They need a makeover. They need a new offense. They need a fiery coach. They need somebody under 60.
Yeah.
Under 60.
Yeah, I can. This is a really sad game. I mean, I could see even the footballs getting pissed off. Damn, I got KC San Diego.
That's
damn. What game you got, man? I got a good game, man. I got the Giant game, man.
Oh shit, man, I'm coming with you.
I see San Diego coming to life against Kansas City at home. More than likely it'll be 70 degrees and sunny.
Yep.
But I think San Diego will come through, and they have more talent than KC. KC's just awful.
They're just horrible.
I mean, for a team like KC, most of their issues come on the defensive side of the ball. On offense, however, you're talking about one of the top running backs in Jamal Charles, one of the top receivers in Dwayne Bowe,
Dexter McCluster,
another big.
But who's gonna throw it to them?
I'm saying Matt Castle.
Radio Quinn Croyle.
Castle came back last
Lenny
week.
Dawson.
Right.
And I think if Castle steps in, they'll be able to win. I don't know if they'll be able to win with Brady Quinn.
Well, the only thing I can say positive about the Chiefs is Justin Houston has looked good. Their linebacker from Georgia. He's been playing well, but outside of him, I haven't seen Eric Berry. I haven't seen anybody.
Yeah.
Give me a score. Everybody just got quiet.
It's
give me a score.
24-zip, San Diego.
Damn.
I got KC winning 13-10.
I don't even know how to call this one. 17-10 San Diego. Why not? Fuck it.
All right.
I really don't have any feelings on this game. I can't really passionately pick a number because both of these teams are piss poor and I don't know who's playing.
They've been looking bad, yeah, and it'll be really. This is one of those what's those bowls that are terrible? The garbage bowl,
the toilet bowl, the piss bowl. Yeah, definitely a drop of piss.
The piss poor bowl.
Right, right. That's a great name. We need to sponsor that.
The Indians in the Kansas City.
Make sure y'all document that's Real Talk Sports. The piss poor bowl. We're gonna do something with that later on. Next up on the slate, the 4-3 hottest fire Denver Broncos head out to Cincinnati to play Andy Dalton, the Red Man, and his Bengals, sitting at 3-4.
I think the Bengals are going to have a really tough time in the secondary. I mean, I don't think their defense has played well, and I don't think that in this game they're going to start.
No,
they're going to have a really, really tough time stopping Peyton Manning. like I said before, Demaryius Thomas, Eric Decker, Willis McGahee running the ball. This offense looks like it's on all cylinders. I think the Cincinnati offense is, similarly very, very well off as well.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be a lot difficult for them because the Broncos' defense has improved so much. Von Miller, of course, Champ Bailey, those guys, Elvis Dumerville. These guys make plays. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that Andy Dalton and the Bengals cast, they'll be able to survive about. Are they at Mile High or are they
No,
Cincinnati?
They're in Cincinnati?
Yep, they're in Cincinnati.
It's interesting, but I still don't see that Bengals offense outgunning that Broncos offense. I think Peyton Manning will get the W. Broncos 24-14.
I got Denver winning 19-13.
19-13, and Cincinnati defense shows up a little bit.
Yeah, but I think in the end, Peyton will find a way to, to pull it out. I think they'll go in a little bit flat, being that, they did so well this week, but I think they'll still pull it out. Cincinnati, there's something wrong with Cincinnati this year. There's something not quite right.
Yeah, I agree. I got this score a little bit higher. I would say Denver 28, Cincinnati 17. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be a good game, but like you said, I think Denver's a better team overall. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty simple pick. I'd be surprised if Cincinnati came through. Next up, oh my God, Chicago Bears at 6-1. Head out to Tennessee to the Music City to play the Titans, sitting at 3-3.
You talk about a Chicago Bears team that at the beginning of the season, people were tempering expectations. People were talking about the Packers were the best in the division, mm-hmm. the Lions were the best in the division. Yep. All right, you had a fast-starting Vikings team. This Chicago Bears team looks damn good.
They're dominant, man.
They're damn good. I don't see anybody stopping that Jay Cutler, Brandon Marshall connection. Matt Forte's back. He had 70 yards and a touchdown last week. This defense looks as good as ever. I can't see anybody beating this team right now, and definitely not the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans going to have a really tough time getting the ball to Chris Johnson and letting him have success. I mean, like I said, one of the top defenses.
Against that linebacking core?
That linebacker core, that line has played a lot better than people are.
Julius Peppers,
people are giving credit to. Some of those D tackles are playing really well. I got the Bears winning this one, man. I think the Bears come out big time, 31-14.
Yeah, I think Chicago's gonna go into Tennessee and they're gonna show out. I think also understand that's a kind of a homecoming for Cutler, being he's from Vanderbilt.
Right.
Right. I think he's gonna want to put on a show. 24-10 Chicago.
24-10 Chicago. I'm gonna say the same thing as you, Lou. 24-10 because they don't need to score a lot of points against Tennessee. The defense is gonna win this game for them. Cutler's gonna do just enough.
Will Tim Jennings get another interception return for a touchdown? I mean, the Bears, you talk about the Bears defense having the most in the NFL, I think 6 or 7 interception returns for touchdowns this year.
Yep, and the record is 9, I believe. Yeah.
Well, they have plenty of time to beat it.
They got plenty of time to beat that. So, yeah, shout out to you, Bears. Y'all looking good. Y'all holding down the North. I don't see anybody losing against Tennessee this week. Next up on the schedule, my Detroit Lions at 3-4, trying to build a little steam, heading out to Jacksonville to see Blaine Gabbert, waiting for him at 1-6.
For the Jacksonville Jaguars, man, they're still in rebuilding mode. Not having Mojo really hurts your chances.
Rashad Jennings playing?
Yeah, Rashad Jennings played. He had about 70-some-odd yards. Caught a few passes out of the backfield. He looked all right, but he didn't look like MJD. I'm looking for this Detroit Lions team to pick up where they left off this last week. Talking about defeating a Seattle Seahawks team with a very good defense. You're facing another solid defense with Jacksonville. They should be able to throw the ball. I'm looking at Matthew Stafford to put up 2 to 3 touchdowns. Right. Almost close to 300 yards. Yeah. I think the Lions will win. I got Lions 20-7.
20-7 Lions.
Megatron, 215 yards reception.
I like
receiving yards.
Is this Calvin Johnson's coming out? Is the batting curse broken?
On 13 catches.
He got it down to the catches.
Stafford throws for over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, runs in for another one. Detroit wins 34-13.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna say Detroit 31-3. I think that defensive line is going to cause Blaine Gabbert problems all day because they've actually started to look like themselves. And Ndamukong Suh's getting off the ball faster. Corey Williams is a little bit healthier. Vanden Bosch, I think he finally put that WD-40 injection in his knees because he actually started to look. I think people forgot he was on the team. He's looked old those first couple games. But yeah, I got Detroit winning in convincing fashion. Megatron, I'm with you, Lou. He definitely needs to have that breakout game. Get over that whole Madden curse. You know, get that shit out of the system. I think the running game is going to pay dividends. I think Mike Shore is going to play better. I don't know if Javid Best is going to ever play again, man. We can't get him off the IR for nothing. He's been on IR since last week, like week 4.
Well, I mean, he came into the league, he had these problems. I don't know why the Lions took a chance on him when they were in dire need of a running back.
Right.
You know, I don't feel like that was a good decision, especially there were better players on the board when they took Javid Best.
Yeah.
It's real sad. It's a real sad story, but Kelda Shore and Kevin Smith, they'll be able to pick up the slack.
Absolutely.
It's so hard because it's like there's so many players who are injury prone in college who don't have injury problems.
That's the thing.
Curtis Martin was very injury prone in college and was one of the most durable backs ever.
But were they concussion? Were they concussion issues? I think Javid Best is the first running back who come out of college with concussion issues, and then it rolled over. I think it was only other one, maybe AJ Green, who had a. Did he have a concussion in Georgia?
Oh yeah.
He had his.
Well, who knows? Back in the day, man, nobody.
Yeah, I was about to say he's not the first one. He's just.
The first highly publicized, first round pick.
Yeah, shout out to you, Javid. I hope you get back on the field. I love to see you and LaShore in the backfield together, but it's up in the air right now. It's definitely up in the air, but yeah, Detroit gonna win that one. We're gonna go to the next game. The Arizona Cardinals. They're 4-3 right now, but after tonight, I think they're gonna be 4-4. So the Arizona Cardinals head out to Green Bay, to Lambeau Field, to get a taste of that. Where the Packers are waiting for them at 5-3.
Hey man, I don't see anybody stopping the Packers. But if any team can do it, this is Cardinals defense.
You think so?
They'll make it hard for the Packers to score.
Patrick Peterson,
Calais Campbell, those guys. But I just don't see how that quarterback situation with Arizona. I don't see how they score the ball convincingly. You know?
I say put some pads on Wisenhunt at this point. Let him go out there and wing a few.
Is Kurt Warner still around?
Yeah, he's a pastor now.
That's funny. But yeah, man, I don't think the Cardinals have a shot. But I think it's going to be a closer game than people might think. You know, I think the
probably will be.
The defense and special teams will keep Cardinals in it.
Still got Darnell Dockett out there too. Yeah.
I got Packers winning 17-14.
Low score, okay.
Winning close.
I think Green Bay is going to kick their ass. I like Arizona's front seven. I don't like the back end other than Peterson.
What about Adrian Wilson, man?
I don't know. I mean, and Wilson too. Point well taken. It's just they look like they can be beaten back there. And once all you have to give is Aaron Rodgers is a few seconds, and if they don't have a pass rush, it's over. It's over. It'll be over in the first half. 28. Green Bay 28. Arizona 17.
28-17. I'm going to say Green Bay, but I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to say something like 24-17 Green Bay. I think that that running game can kind of carry Arizona for a little while to cover up their deficiencies at quarterback, and maybe they get a defensive score. You never know. Aaron Rodgers every now and again has been letting the one go, So, yeah, 24-17 Green Bay.
Throwing up the Romo passes.
Nah, not the Romo. I wouldn't even downgrade him there.
Damn.
I wouldn't downgrade him there. Romo. I'm trying to shake that game. Next up on the slate, the Miami Dolphins at 4-3 head out to Indianapolis to play the Colts at 4-3. This is going to be this is shaping up to be a very, very interesting game because both of these teams were not expected to be at this point.
Man, fuck the Dolphins. I got the Colts winning in convincing fashion, 48-0.
Oh wow!
Fuck the Dolphins.
Oh wow, Vinny, that's a bit excessive.
Okay, fine.
48-0.
Okay, let's.
Andrew Luck just.
That was emotion speaking.
Okay.
And let me be real. Let me be a real analyst. I mean, you got a Dolphins defense coming off a great week against the Jets, the sorry ass Jets, but they're actually playing a quarterback who can throw the ball. And they're playing a top flight receiver who can catch the ball in Reggie Wayne. All right, I think that connection with those two guys is going to be fluid. That defense with Indianapolis, I want to see how they handle the run because I don't think there's not going to be a big deal with the passing game. Ryan Tannehill got hurt last week. Matt Moore will be playing.
Matt Moore's fine.
Matt Moore's fine, but I still don't think he'll do as well a production as Ryan Tannehill. You know, recently we see Ryan Tannehill put up 400-yard performances. I don't think Matt Moore gets even close to that. I'm looking for Indianapolis to win this game. It'll be a close one, but I think Andrew Luck wins it out overtime, 16-13.
16-13.
I like Miami's defense against Indianapolis. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think the kid Luck, Andrew Luck, is going to do well, but I like Miami's toughness. Yeah. I like they're a tough ass team.
Tough team. They are.
And I mean they don't just talk. They do it. They do it.
And Hard Knocks pay dividends.
I hate to say it, but they truly are a tough ass team. And straight up, Indianapolis better have they better strap on their shit because it's Miami's gonna come into town and they're gonna knock them upside their head. I think Miami's gonna win 21-19. Indy's gonna make it tight. Luck's gonna make it interesting, but I think they'll beat them 21-19.
I'm gonna take Indianapolis. Actually, this is gonna be my upset game, if you will, and it's not really upset because these teams are ranked the same. But I think that not having Ryan Tannehill is gonna hurt them. I like Matt Moore, but I feel like he's gonna come back to earth at some point in the second half. First half, he'll probably come out playing well, managing well, but I think that second half, I don't know. I got a feeling that we might have a Robert Mathis or Dwight Freeney sighting. So I think Andrew Luck is going to pay dividends. I think it's going to be something like 24-17, Indianapolis. I think the Dolphins will play well, just not well enough. They'll be a play away.
Okay.
All right, and we're moving today, fellas. I like it. We have 50 minutes, but we're doing good. Next up, we have this game is going to be extremely interesting. The Carolina Panthers at 1-6 head out to Washington. Play RG3.
RG3 versus
3 and 5. Cam versus RG3.
All right, let's
the wait is over.
Let me say this off the back. All right, Carolina Panthers defense looks piss poor. I don't think they have a chance at stepping RG3 in that offense. Or in that run offense. Secondly, the Redskins defense is piss poor.
I was about to say.
And I don't think they have a chance at stopping Cam Newton and Steve Smith if they get into a groove. I mean, this looks like a shootout if there ever was one. Two teams that run the ball very well or should run the ball very well, and they can also throw the ball. Obviously, a lot of play action passes, a lot of trick plays in this one. This is going to be one of those high-flying, crazy stuff happening games.
Yeah.
But I got the Redskins winning. I can't bet against RG3 in this situation, especially with the Panthers playing at the way they have the last couple of weeks.
Robert Griffin III.
I got Big Bob winning. Big Bob and the Redskins.
Big Bob and the Redskins?
Winning 24-17 Redskins.
RG3, man. RG3. I'm firmly on the bandwagon. Carolina's just got too many issues, too much drama. They're like, they're like a little girl at the end of the month, It's like she bleeding all over the place.
Oh,
so
man, how sexist can you get?
So Washington,
this is pop right here.
I got Washington taking it 38-28. Yeah, RG3 is going to throw for 2 touchdowns. He's going to run one over 50. And Santana Moss is going to have 100 yards in this game.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take the Redskins as well. I like Cam, but it's just something. It's a certain level of maturity that I think is what Cam is missing. RG3, he just plays with such a moxie, and this is going to be a good matchup. And the Panthers have a lot more of a chance than what people are willing to give them credit for because they've been playing bad. But I think Washington will win it. It'll be something like 24-10 because I see Washington, even though their defense is depleted and they're missing Arakpo and they're missing Kerrigan and
D'Angelo Hall probably gonna get a suspension.
D'Angelo Hall gonna get suspended. London Fletcher's old as shit,
Man, he's a knucklehead, D'Angelo Hall, man.
Yeah, I thought he was about to actually punch that ref. They threw 2 flags at him.
Yeah.
That's bad. They threw the first one and they looked at him again like, nah.
They went from 135 to the other 35. Yeah. They were in the other team's territory and then fell back into their own
You can't lose your cool like that.
That's crazy.
That's D'Angelo's downfall, is his temper. And he wears his emotions on his sleeve.
He's not good enough a cornerback to be going around talking shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was Antonio Cromartie or something, or Champ Bailey.
Oh man, you Cromartie then?
But when do you ever remember Champ Bailey doing something that stupid?
Yeah.
If you're an elite cornerback, you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Revis. You know, when you see Revis do that. When have you seen Tyler? Well, maybe Tyler. Fuck Tyler.
Damn.
Benny's just not there. He's not here today.
He's not. Yeah, he's
He's
just
ticked off. He got on his. He got on his motherfucking. He got on his shades. He got on his Stevie Wonders. He ain't fucking with nobody right now.
I don't see nobody. I think I'm going blind.
It's all good. Well, yeah, Washington is a unanimous pick. Next up, the Buffalo Bills had the week off. They're 3-4, and they're heading out to Houston to play the Texans at 6-1, who also had the week off last week.
Man, I'm talking about a Bills team. The week before last, they played the 49ers, correct?
Yeah.
The last week. They got the shit beat out of them.
Woo.
I think the Bills are going to come off this bye week and basically get in position. Because
assume the position.
Because they basically about to get raped.
Bend over, baby.
You know, I mean, this Bills team has gotten better, no doubt. But you talk about a Texas team that made the Ravens look as bad the way they did. You know, I don't think anybody can stop this team, especially not the goddamn Buffalo Bills. Houston wins big, 38-14.
38-14.
Yeah, Houston Texans. You know, the question is, will Mario Williams make an appearance at this game?
I don't even think he's playing this season.
Yeah,
they got Sean. They picked up Sean Merriman.
They picked up Sean Merriman.
Yeah, they picked up Sean Merriman and Bruce Smith to help out. You know, because he's not doing the job.
No.
Houston is going to take over. It's going to be 41-16.
Yeah,
Houston.
I agree. I think it's going to be ugly. I'm going to, 38-10 Houston. And they're going to pull Matt Schaub in the third quarter.
TJ Yates.
And TJ Yates is going to come in and just finish the game.
TJ Yates.
boy.
Ben Taylor's going to get 100 yards in the second half.
Oh, okay. Let's calm it down.
No, this is Buffalo. Their run defense isn't stout. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's better than the Jets.
Full circle.
Yeah,
He's not letting it go.
No.
He's been downgraded from Stevie Wonder to Ray Charles.
Downgraded?
Well, like Spike Lee, he's Knicks now. You know.
Right. Next up on the slate, the Baltimore Ravens at a surprising 5-2, headed out to Cleveland, where the Browns are playing inspired football, sitting at 2-6. Now this is always a good matchup. Cleveland always plays Baltimore pretty well.
Cleveland has this bitterness towards Baltimore from when they left.
The old Art days.
The old Art days, you know. So
Art Modell.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, and of course you have new management for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that they're going to want this team to come out firing. I mean, big win against San Diego. I just don't see where the scoring is going to come from. I really don't. Brandon Whedon, he's been solid, but I just don't. Trent Richardson, but I just don't see it. I don't see it against this Ravens team. This Ravens team's defense has played bad. Let's be real.
I was about to say that last game,
but that was against the Houston Texas team, who has basically a bevy of playmakers and Andre Johnson, Arian Foster, Owen Dak. All these guys are very good.
tell me Cleveland don't got a receiving core like that?
Josh Gordon, Joshua Cribbs,
yeah.
Greg Little. These guys don't scare me.
Paul Warfield.
I mean,
oh man.
But I expect